What was your biggest treat yourself regret? I just passed my exams in university, so decided to treat myself to some Ben & Jerry's. I woke up covered in hives, vomiting, and burning up. Apparently I had an unknown allergy. It was the worst week of my life. Edit, for those curious, the allergist didn't find anything common that I was allergic to. This was over a decade ago and I've never had issues since. It may well have been a fluke or something else. Was it tree nuts? Same crap, different dessert happened to me. I think so. But I've never touched Ben & Jerry's again. You should see an allergist so you can determine what the allergy is. Absolutely see an allergist. The next time you ingest this allergen, it could send you into anaphylactic shock. I bought a pair of quad roller skates on a whim. Meaning that I did no research. Turns out there is quite a bit of intricacy with skates. I had purchased a pair meant for speed, meant for indoor rinks. My intended use was for outdoor skating. This resulted in falling on my ass a million times outside and having zero control on my newly paved road. After buying softer wheels meant for outdoors, wow, it's a huge difference. I should have done some research and saved myself a good chunk of money. I regret the spur-of-the-moment purchase, but I am glad that I got the skates and new wheels. Edit, I purchased a second-hand pair of Rock GT50s from someone in town since the closest storefront with stock was over an hour away. It looks comparable to images online, so I assumed there were no modifications. I swapped the 95A wheels for a set of 78A. Hi, I did the exact same thing, busted my shoulder, not bones, just bad muscle pain. I should know better. Thought I've never been on a cruise. I want to go on a cruise now. So booked a 2-week Caribbean cruise, in a suite, with the wife. Who, on arrival, decided she didn't like me anymore and spent 2 weeks avoiding me, so I spent 2 weeks on my own on this bloody ship? We're divorced now. This is why I have never gone on a cruise. I really like my wife. Our issue on the cruise was that between food and drink you want to just veg for a day, but the rooms are terrible for it. David Foster Wallace wrote a painfully and fantastically detailed travelogue of his one time on a cruise. It is titled, A Supposedly Fun Thing I'll Never Do Again, which tells you everything you need to know about the results. Maybe that's actually a good stress test for engaged people to see if it's actually going to work out. Actually, another good idea, for probably like half the cost, would be to take a road trip with them. That's when you'll learn how you really feel about someone. If you can come back after a road trip without a lot of strain on you guys' relationship, then congratulations. But if not, then well. The day after our wedding, my husband and I left for our honeymoon. This included 2.5 hours of driving to the airport, 2 hours of waiting for the plane, 4 hours of flying, and then 3 hours of driving with no plan of where to sleep. We assumed Route 1 in California would have hotels on it and we'd just stop somewhere for the night. All of this while I'd only gotten 2 hours of sleep and he was super hungover. The worst part was Route 1 also has hardly any cell reception for Verizon, so we couldn't figure out where we were headed, except north, and where we could find food and sleep. It was very stressful and we griped a bit at each other until we finally got enough cell service to figure out that we were half an hour away from Santa Rosa and could get a hotel room there. Then we were back to our happy selves and enjoyed the rest of our trip. I can definitely see how crap like that can stress a relationship, and people should know they can handle a road trip before they get married. I love this story. Most definitely, if your relationship can handle that, then you know it's a pretty solid, sturdy relationship. As weird as it sounds, I think it's important that couples endure at least one pretty stressful situation together. Edit, I meant to say at least one very stressful situation. Holy crap, dude, I'm sorry. I've been lonely on a cruise and the days at sea are brutal. Can't imagine 2 weeks. You kept her away from the other guy for 2 weeks. Oof. Why did she even agree to go on the cruise? Could have lied about having motion sickness or some crap instead. Or just said, I don't want to go on a cruise. She wanted to break up with him months ago but was hanging on for a cruise. A pair of Louboutins. Not comfortable. The sole wears away incredibly quickly. Heels easily get scraped on grates. I live somewhere with lots of grates. quick note from someone who worked in fashion and knows these designers and the factories where they're made. Louboutins are expensive and they're not well made. Just a name. Jimmy Choo sold his company and name ages ago. Nothing too special anymore except brand recognition, emo. Manolos are well made, and they are made in a factory that also sells another identical shoe without the name brand or price. I will update when I find it, sorry, I forgot. Sergio Rossi also sold the name about a decade ago or so. If you want the real Sergio Rossi, buy Giambito Rossi. Named after his son, I believe, but that's Rossi's current company. Gian Marco Lorenzi makes excellent shoes. Caparici makes excellent shoes. Lascila usually makes excellent shoes. Friends, I will check my closet and come back with some shoes for you guys. I apologize for the brain fog. Edit, expect a full list by tonight. Edit 2, I have considered making a post about this. It makes me so happy to share this information. Fun fact, a friend, let's call him D, used to know Christian Louboutin when he was debuting, and he refused to carry CL's shoes in his store due to the poor manufacturing quality. Obviously CL became famous and called up my friend, D, to gloat. D told him his shoes were still crap and he'd still never carry them. Bad blood still exists. How's that for a little spilled tea, he? Also, I'm an idiot and used CB instead of CL when I first wrote this. Who knows why? Edit 3, I'm working on it, my fashionistas and fashionistas. I've inventoried my shoes at home and I'm going to pop into my old closet at the parents' house to get the rest of the names. I apologize for my memory lapse, but it's been a while since I wore heels 12 hours a day. Also, thank you guys for the awards and the support. I am absolutely stunned, and I feel so warm and happy after chatting with my fashion buddies. This thread has inspired me to order myself some of the aforementioned Manolo factory shoes, as soon as I rediscover the name. I'll get it. So thank you. Edit 4, alright, this is what we came for, right? Okay. Here's the quick list. I will update and continue to elaborate further when I can. Quick disclaimer. I would be remiss not to mention this list has some bias because these are my personal favorites. They're certainly not the only ones out there. Lascila, Aglaia, Gian Marco Lorenzi, Sonia Rykiel, Furl, Rodo, Ruthie Davis, Terry de Havilland, Benez Kanani, Chanel, Elena Iachi, Cassidy, Nicholas Kirkwood, Furla, Rocio, Michelle Perry, Pedro Garcia, Alberto Fermini, Alberta Ferretti, Giuseppe Zanetti, Rocco P. Natalie Chaffee, Lothar Chose, Donald J. Pliner, Marnie, Giambito Rossi, Stefano Lorenzi, Rick Owens, Ferragamo. Now let's elaborate. Alaia is the brand of famed Azzedine Alaia, who recently passed last year. His clothes, accessories and shoes are quite expensive, but I have been pleasantly surprised to see some pieces for sale on some retailers for very reasonable prices. I could go on about his clothes and their snug and gorgeous fit, but his shoes are so well made. I have abused his platforms in ways that have shamed my friends. I've drunkenly kicked them off my feet and tossed them into a corner. I've nervously kicked the back of bar stools. Yet they survive. They are beautiful and special and I don't know how much longer you can get them in his original designs. RIP my size if people catch on. But that's okay. His belts are to die for. Sonia Rykiel is a legend. She has been around the scene for ages and her stuff is always original. I have her Frankenstein boots in 2 colors, big platforms boots with wooden platforms and thick knee-high patent leather. She is so cool. Furla has great leather. So does Donald J. Pliner. They're not at the top of the high fashion list, but trust that they make beautiful and well-made shoes. Terry de Havilland. He made shoes for David Bowie. Need I say more? Pedro Garcia makes handmade gorgeous shoes from Spain. The silk is so gorgeous. But they are sturdy leather shoes. No delicate things here, no matter how feminine they look. I have a white pair of gorgeous sandals with crystals in a 37.5 if anyone wants them. My Prego foot crew. Cassidy is gorgeous and well made. I have found their shoes to be a bit dainty, delicate, but they offer so many designs and styles. They're great. They've been around a while, but seem to be increasing in popularity, so a good deal may not be as easy to find. Nicholas Kirkwood has great geometric architectural designs. They're not very comfortable, I'm afraid, but they make an impression. Alberto Fermini makes great boots. I have so many pairs. They wear so well, they break in so well. They're just a great pair of shoes, well made from sole to laces to the leather quality. My favorite brown ones have a patina that makes them look so freaking cool. Giuseppe Zanotti is also a favorite of mine. They're pretty popular, so don't expect to find them in the bargain bin, but they put out so much stuff that you're bound to find something cool somewhere. They typically make formal, dress shoe styles, and they like the jewels, but I do have a couple of boots that still make a statement 20 years later. I also put these on the somewhat more delicate list. But I'm hard on my shoes. Ruthie Davis. What a cool chick. She's the one that designed Uggs, by the way. Don't let that throw you off, that was just a genius idea and it worked. She has her own line and they're really cool. I have a pair of hot pink and black pumps with straps and thick silver chains and it looks straight out of a gem video. You guys know what I'm talking about. LaSheila makes gorgeous shoes. I have so many knee-high boots and thigh-high boots. I mean, you can never go wrong, except one silly pair of sandals I bought where the paint flaked, but that was totally a one-off. They dominate a lot of shoes and boots in my closet. Gianmarco Lorenzi makes the shoes that look painfully exotic, but are so expertly made you could do a cartwheel. I have a pair or two with titanium heels the width of a Q-tip. They will aerate the grass, but by God they won't break. My favorite shoes in all of my collection are probably Lorenzi and LaSheila. Forgive me, but I have a little one that needs to stay asleep. I will add more to this list tomorrow as long as Reddit doesn't cut me off for length. Oh yeah. Everyone's waiting on that Manolo shoe, right? I'm still on it. The brand names tend to change, but the shoe build stays the same. You know how you're looking for something on Amazon and you see the exact same thing with 15 different brand names? It's because they all come from the same factory. Sometimes it can be like that with shoes. These aren't made in China, but the principle is not entirely dissimilar. I've already made some calls. You guys have been amazing. I won't disappoint you. I'll add some more info on women's shoes and we'll look into some much requested info for men's shoes, although at this point I will probably need to make this its own post somewhere. Does anyone have any suggestions? Bonus, Cadell makes gorgeous bustiers and garments from Paris. Some people say they invented the bra. Ladies, they're the real thing and they are so beautiful and well made. Guys, your ladies will thank you. Some have zippers, but the ones with laces should always be tied in the center, not the top or bottom. Comment saved even though I'm never going to buy an expensive shoe. That's the beauty of it. Everyone scours the internet for the same brands, Gucci, Prada, LV, etc. When you know who actually makes the good shoes, as in the shoes you can run a mile in despite being 5 inches tall, the shoes that are still made by hand in the best factories, the shoes you could wear hiking up a mountain and then roll down and they're still in great condition, then you can go eBay or whatever resale and get them for a steal. Everyone's trying to get the Louboutin, so don't expect a good deal there. But when you know who to look for, the lesser known amazing brands, then you can start that baddie shoe collection. P.S. I used to dress people for Grammys and big events, so these are not no-name shoes. They're just shoe brands that not everyone is aware of. I guarantee the pair of $2,000 boots I put on can be found resale for maybe $300 somewhere, gently used or out of season. I need a friend like you. Thank you for sharing. I feel like my life has no meaning until I find the brand that shares a factory with Manolo's. What do you make of Lucy Choi shoes, Jimmy Choo's niece? I find them really comfy. I worked in a designer footwear store with nearly all these brands and in my opinion this is incredibly accurate. Thank you. Bitch, come back from the closet, I want to know more high quality shoe brands, haha. Seriously. How big is their closet? It's been over an hour. Haha. It's not that big. I'm not at home, either. But my little guy is hanging out with his grandparents, and a lot of my shoes are in a closet there. So I will be scouring the closet when I'm there this evening and update accordingly. P.S. My husband has been giving me dirty looks because I'm trying to respond to everyone on here. I don't think he understands how excited we get when we find a direct line to good style, fashion info. Don't mind him, you're doing a very important service to many of us fashionistas. I think Louboutin are famously the worst heels in terms of comfort. I feel your pain. I've heard from a lot of people that Manolos are the most comfortable of expensive shoes. Jimmy Choo heels are also really comfy. Got some for my wedding day and wore them for the full 12 hours, and I don't usually wear heels. My silver strappy Jimmy Choos were the most comfortable heels I've ever worn, and I think I wore them for about 10 hours on my wedding day. Bought a pair of used snowmobiles for $2,000. Had them for 2 years. First year we both got the flu the 1 week the snowmobile trails were open, so never used them. Second year my wife was pregnant, so we decided to sell them. Ends up one no longer wants to start and the other one runs but now has issues. Ended up selling them for $500. Never once used them besides unloading them from the trailer when we bought them. Where do you live where the snowmobile trails are only open for 1 week? Lower Wisconsin. Was a crap year for snow. We got 6 inches, then it warmed up and it all melted. Just kept repeating that cycle. Other years usually get a solid month. Honestly, southern Wisconsin has been crap for sledding for the past 20 years or so. Unless you're willing to trailer them up north, they're a lot more work than they're worth and they just end up taking up space. I love snowmobiling, but living near Madison, they're just not worth it for me. I once bought a good quality regulation pool table, 8x44, with all the accessories for about $4,000. But after moving to a new location, I regretted the purchase because there was no room for it, other than to give up the dining room and replace the dining room chandelier with a billiards light fixture. How's your new pool room then? My buddy had this happen to him and got a carpenter to design a piece of nice wood basically that goes over the pool table to make a dining room table. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.